भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 33. Activities of Kapila. Text 1. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Nishamya Kapilasya Vacho Janitri Sa Kardamasya Daita Kila Devahuti Vishrasta Mohopatala Tam Abhipranamya Tushtava Tatta Vishayankita Siddhi Bhumim. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Nishamya Kapilasya Vacho Janitri Sa Kardamasya Daita Kila Devahuti Vishrasta Moha Patala Tamabhipranamya Tushtava Tatta Vishayankita Siddhi Bhumim. Evam Nishamya Kapilasya Vacho Janitri Sa Kardamasya Daita Kila Devahuti Vishrasta Moha Patala Tamabhipranamya Tushtava Tatta Vishayankita Siddhi Bhumim. Evam Nishamya Kapilasya Vacho Janitri Sa Kardamasya Daita Kila Devahuti Vishrasta Moha Patala Tamabhipranamya Tushtava Tatta Vishayankita Siddhi Bhumi. Mataji's. Evam Nishamya Kapilasya Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Evam, thus, Nishamya, having heard, Kapilasya, of Lord Kapila, Bachaha, the words, Janitri, the mother, Sa, she, Kardamasya, of Kardama Muni, Daita, the dear wife, Kila, namely, Devahuti, Vishrasta, freed from, Mohopatala, the covering of illusion, Tam, unto him, Abhipranamya, having offered obeisances, Tushtava, recited prayers, Tattva, basic principles, Vishaya, in the matter of, Ankita, the author, Siddhi, of liberation, Bhumim, the background. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni, became freed from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisance unto the Lord, and the author of the basic principles of the Sankhya philosophy, the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayers. Please repeat. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, and the wife of Kardama Muni, became freed from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisances unto the Lord, the author of the basic principles of Sankhya philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayers. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The system of philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila before his mother is the background for situation on the spiritual platform. The specific significance of this system of philosophy is stated herein as Siddhi Bhumim. It is the background of salvation. People who are suffering in this material world because they are conditioned by the material energy can easily get freedom from the clutches of matter by understanding the Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila. By this system of philosophy, one can immediately become free, even though one is situated in this material world. That stage is called Jivan Mukti. This means that one is liberated even though one stays with this material body. That happened for Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, and she therefore satisfied the Lord by offering her prayers. Anyone who understands the basic principle of Sankhya philosophy is elevated in devotional service and becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated, even within this material world. মুকুন্দ, তুমি যখন অনুবাদটা হচ্ছে বাংলায় পড়ছো? পড়ছো বাংলায়। I believe there is Hindi translation also. Krishna Abhishek is doing that. Okay. Is all right? Did you have the Hindi Bhagavatam? No? You should have taken one to read it out to them. So, this is the first verse of the 33rd chapter. Now it's too late. You should have read it. I should have thought of it at that time. You should have read it when I was reading the English. You could have read the Hindi to them. Anyway, give the book. I will read it for everybody. ये श्लोक का अनुवाद है। श्री मैत्रेय ने कहा, इस प्रकार भगवान कपिल की माता तथा कर्दम मुनि की पत्नी देवहूति भक्ति तथा दिव्य ज्ञान संबंधी समस्त अविद्या से मुक्त हो गई। उन्होंने उन भगवान को नमस्कार किया जो मुक्ति की पृष्ठभूमि सांख्य दर्शन के प्रतिपादक है, और तब निम्नलिखित स्तुति द्वारा उन्हें प्रसन्न किया। इस श्लोक का तात्पर्य में श्रील प्रभुपाद कह रहे हैं, भगवान कपिल ने अपनी माता के समक्ष जिस दर्शन पद्धति का प्रतिपादन किया वो आध्यात्मिक पद पर स्थित होने की पृष्ठभूमि है। इस दर्शन पद्धति की विशिष्ट महत्ता सिद्ध भूमि द्वारा यहाँ पर व्यक्त की गई है, जिसका अर्थ है मोक्ष की पृष्ठभूमि। भगवान कपिल ने जिस सांख्य दर्शन का प्रतिपादन किया है उसे समझकर माया द्वारा बद्ध लोग जो इस संसार में दुख भोग रहे हैं, पदार्थ जड़त्व के चंगुल से छुटकारा पा सकते हैं। इस दर्शन पद्धति के द्वारा भौतिक जगत में स्थित व्यक्ति भी तुरंत मुक्त हो सकता है। इस अवस्था जीवन मुक्ति कहलाती है। इसका अर्थ ये है कि इस भौतिक शरीर में रहते हुए भी मनुष्य मुक्त हो जाता है। भगवान कपिल की माता देवाहुति के साथ ऐसा ही हुआ, अतः उन्होंने अपनी स्तुतियों द्वारा भगवान को प्रसन्न किया। जो भी सांख्य दर्शन के मूल सिद्धांत को समझता है वो भक्ति को प्राप्त होता है और इसी संसार में वो कृष्ण भावना भावित या मुक्त हो जाता है। धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण। So Prabhupada is pointing out here that in the last few chapters, Kapil Dev instructed his mother about pure devotional service. Yesterday I discussed that pure devotional service is founded on three principles. The Siddhanta is based on three principles. They are known as Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojana. Sambandha means relationship. Krishna is there, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are here. What is our relationship with Krishna? Isn't it important to know? Otherwise, if there is no relationship, how can there be any exchange? Can there be any loving exchange between people, those who are not related to each other? Can you love somebody whom we do not know, or we never seen, or never heard of? Or even if we have seen him, but if we don't have a relationship, we cannot have a favorable conducive relationship or exchange. Therefore, the first consideration is Sambandha. Who is Krishna? Who are we? And what is our relationship? Who is Krishna? Let me see whether you all have received the Sambandha Gyan. Who is Krishna? Okay, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who are you? The parts and parcels of Krishna. Are you sure about that? Are you sure you are not the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Huh? So our relationship is that we are His parts and parcels. So as parts and parcels, so what is the relationship then? Krishna is the master, we are the servants. Now the question is, Krishna is master and we are the servants. Now how can we become situated in that relationship? What is the means by which this relationship can be established? Which is the means? Service. And that service to Krishna is specifically known as devotional service. Why are you late in the class? তুমি রান্না করছিলে, তুমি কি করছিলে? Okay, very good. So, Krishna is the master, we are the servants. So how the master-servant relationship is established? Through service. When the servant serves the master, then he becomes the servant. If the servant doesn't serve the master, then there cannot be any relationship. So, abhidheya, the means of developing that relationship, is devotional service. Now the question is, why should the servant serve the master? Prayojan. What is the need? What's the necessity? Why? Anyone? Yes, Radharani? To please the Lord. I was thinking they would say that otherwise you won't get the salary. That's also a consideration. The first consideration is actually that. Because he's giving us a salary. Salary in the sense, he's taking care of us in all respects. Isn't he giving us all the food? Isn't he providing us everything that we need? The sun comes up. By whose arrangement? The food grains are growing. We are getting the rain, which is the cause of food grain, which is the cause of our sustenance. Water is the foundation of or basis of life. If there was no water, there won't be life. So water comes, therefore vegetation grows. Water comes, then we get water to drink. Water comes, that's why we are, the atmosphere becomes cool. The water is there, that's why the vegetation is growing, and because of the vegetation we are getting oxygen. If there was no vegetation, if there was no trees and plants, there won't be any oxygen. So who made this arrangement? So this is how Krishna is paying us the salary. He is taking care of us. And ultimately, by serving Krishna, what do we get? Ultimately what we get the most important thing in our life. What is the most important thing? Jamuna Priya? Very good. Ananda, joy. We all want to be happy. We all want to be joyful. And prayojan is Ananda. Ultimate consideration of prayojan is Ananda. So it's very scientific. This philosophy is actually establishing these facts. So he mentioned about pure devotional service. But Kapil Dev actually propounded a branch of philosophy which is known as Sankhya philosophy. There are 6 different branches of philosophy. Vedic darshan, Vedic philosophy. Darshan, what does darshan mean? Darshan means to see. Generally we see with our eyes. But what is a more profound way to see? What is a more advanced way to see? With our eyes, how much can we see? Say, for example, with our eyes we can see Ujjain. But we know that there is a city called Chennai. How many of you have seen a city called Chennai? Chennai city. How many of you have seen that? Only a few of you. But how many of you know that there is a city called Chennai? How do you know? Through knowledge. So that is another way to see. See through knowledge. Jnana chakshusha. One way to see is through our eyes, but the higher perception, higher way of seeing is through knowledge. And that seeing through knowledge is called darshan or philosophy. So Vedas have 6 different branches of philosophy. Those are Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa. Mimamsa. So these are the 6 branches of philosophy. Six different ways to see. One of them is Sankhya. So what is the Sankhya branch of philosophy propounding? What is the basis of Sankhya philosophy? Sankhya philosophy literally means analytical study. Sankhya means, what is the meaning of the Sanskrit word Sankhya? Number. And Sankhya means analyzing through number. Sankhya. Like the Sankhya philosophy considers there are matter. We are seeing there are so many different types of matter. So they are classified in 5 categories. Pancha Mahabhut. Bhut means matter. And 5 types of matters. What are the 5 types of gross matters? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Bhumi, Ap, Tej, Kshiti, Marut, Bom. Water, fire, earth, air, and ether. Akash. Ap, Tej, Kshiti, Marut, Bom. And there are 5 senses. Our bodies have 5 senses. What are the 5 senses? Eyes, ears, nose, touch, and tongue. Chokku, Karna, Nashika, Jubha, Tak. And then, due to the interaction between the Mahabhuta and Panchendriya, 5 types of objects of the senses are generated. What are the 5 different objects of senses? Roop, Ras, Shabda, Gandha, Sparsha. Form, taste, touch, sound, and smell. Roop, Ras, Shabda, Sparsha. So 5 types of objects of the senses that the senses can perceive. They are generated due to the interaction between the 5 elements and 5 senses. The eyes interact with fire, form is produced. Ears interact with ether, sound is produced. Skin or touch, skin interacts with air and touch is produced. Water interacts with tongue, or rather tongue interacts with water, taste is produced. Earth interacts with nose, smell is produced. So in this way, Pancha Tanmatra, 5 objects of the senses are produced. Then the next consideration is there are 5 types of working senses. We work, we act with 5 types of senses. They are known as Pancha Karmendriya. Pad, Pani, Payu, Udar, Upastha. Legs, speech, belly, genital, and anus. So these are the Pancha Karmendriya. So, did you count them? Sankhya, counting. How many of you counted? 4 5s are 20. Then they further probed into it. Beyond that, there are 3 subtle elements. What are those 3 subtle elements? 3 subtle elements are mind, intelligence, and false ego. So, okay, how many we got? 20 plus 3 is 23. Then the final, then they considered that the sum total of the entire elements, entire material nature is a transformation of one substance. What is that substance? That substance is called Mahatattva. So 23 plus 1, 24. So in Sankhya philosophy, in this way, the entire material nature is analyzed through these 24 considerations. Chaturvinshati tattva. But then they considered further that these elements, 24 considerations, are observed or object. But who is the subject? Who is the observer? Who is the observer? We are the observers, right? Self. I am the observer. Now, did you find the I in all these 24 analysis? So that means I is beyond that. Now, the entire material nature has been analyzed in this 24 consideration, but I couldn't be found there. Therefore, I is beyond matter. I is non-material. So in this way, they are transcending the material nature and coming to the spiritual platform. Prishta Bhumi, the Siddhi Bhumi, or Bhumi means the foundation, background. So in this way, they are transcending the material platform and coming to the spiritual platform. See, in the difference between philosophy and Tattva Gyan, knowledge, is that philosophy is by analyzing or by observing and concluding. Philosophy is ascending, and knowledge is descending. So that is the difference. Like philosophy is actually for people, those who do not want to directly accept it. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mam ekam sharanam braja. But Krishna says, and we accept it. But if somebody doesn't want to accept, then he can go through this kind of philosophical means. Okay, but the problem with the philosophical means is it's very arduous, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. Like, if you come to Ujjain, right, and you have an address to go. So if you have to find out yourself where the house is, how difficult it will be. You have to go to every single road and then start to find out how many roads are there, and then find that road, and then you have to go and... But if you have some guide here in Ujjain, you made some arrangement, you will come to the station by such and such train, and he will come and receive you, and he will take you to the house. Who knows where Ujjain? And if he comes and tells you or takes you to the house, will it be difficult? Now between these two ways, which one is difficult? Which one is easier? By means of your own endeavor, or by means of receiving the knowledge from somebody who has the knowledge? So philosophy is trying to find out yourself. It's a very difficult process. But the difficult process is meant for the fools. Those who are foolish, they will say, I will find out. Those who are intelligent, they will say, I'll find somebody who knows. Right? I'll go to somebody who knows. So one who knows, he can give the knowledge very easily. But then if we want, we can verify it through this philosophical process. So where did we come? After 24, we have come. 24 tattvas or considerations have analyzed the entire material nature. But then we came to the point that, actually I am seeing all this. So where am I? Am I in Mahatattva? Am I in mind? Am I in earth, water, fire, air, ether? Where am I? I am beyond all that. Therefore, that is the 25th consideration. And the 25th consideration is beyond matter. So spiritual. And then they considered that still they didn't stop. That there are many eyes. You have your eyes, I have my eyes, he has his eyes, she has her eyes. So many eyes. So when there are so many eyes, all these eyes must be coming from somewhere. Must have a source. So who is that source of all the eyes? The supreme eye. Param, Atma or Bhagavan. So he is the 26th consideration. So this is how, through Sankhya philosophy, the spiritual nature has been established, then the living entity is established, living entity's identity being spiritual, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is how it is established. But what Kapil Dev gave to his mother is pure devotional service. That he gave a very clear understanding. He is not saying that philosophically you try to analyze. As I said, this kind of knowledge, philosophical aspect, is meant for those who are not going to accept it directly, straightforward. He gave his mother very clear understanding. Satang prashangan mama birja sambido bhavate ritkarna rashayana katha tajjoshanadashu apavarga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishati. Satang prashangan. In the association of satam, satang means nirmat saranam satam, devotees of the Lord. In the association mama birja sambido bhavanti ritkarna rashayana katha. That's the topic that is discussed, is very, very pleasing to the ears and the heart. And as a result of that, ashu, very quickly, apavarga vatmani, one becomes free from materialistic existence. Materialistic existence is struggle, unnecessary struggle, and ultimately death. Parishram, pavarga, pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. Pa stands for parishram, hard labor. Materialistic way of life is hard labor. Parishram. To earn money, people are working so hard. The other day in Delhi, I was talking to somebody and I was asking him, for how long does he work every day? He said 12 hours. So I thought 12 hours, maybe including transport, travel, going from house to... Then I found out, no, 12 hours he has to be in the office. And another 3 hours to go back and forth. So 15 hours minimum is gone out of 24 hours. And why? That's what I questioned him at the end. Why are you working so hard? And naturally the answer was, I have to earn money. Why do you need money? To maintain myself, my family. That's the problem. The modern society has created such complexity that everybody has to work so hard. And then, at the end, what parishram? As a result of this parishram, what happens? Fena, paw, fa. Like a horse, when it runs for a long, long time, what happens to the horse? It starts to foam in the mouth. Froths start coming. People are working so hard as a result of that. fena. And then ba, bartha. All that you do is useless. You're working so hard. Then one fine morning you go to the office and your boss calls you in his room and says from tomorrow you don't have to come. You have been serving loyally for so many years, working so hard, but ultimately it's all waste of time, bad thing. And as a result of that, what happens? Bhoy, fear. It leads to such fear. What will happen? I'm afraid about my future. And ultimately, Ma. Ma stands for Mrityu, death. Will die. What a glorious life. But there is another way of life. The other way of life is to consider that who is your real boss? You are going to your boss for a job because he is going to give you some money every month. But then you see that you have a boss who is giving you everything you need, not only money. He gives you food, he gives you water, who gives you oxygen, who provided the sunlight, who provided the moonlight, who provided everything for you. When you find that boss who is so kind to you that even though you are not serving him, still he is paying you the salary, then what do you feel like doing? So why should I serve anybody else? Let me serve him. Let me serve him. So that's what I told this person. I told him that why are you working so hard? And he said, because I have to maintain my family. And his family means he and his wife. They don't even have children. They don't have to take care of them. So I told him, why are you working so hard like that? So, and he asked me, what can I do? So I told him, do you have some money in the bank? He said, yes, he saved some money. I said, why don't you go to a village, buy some land, build a house, and live there? I don't know whether he'll do it, but he liked the idea at that time. He thought it's a good idea. I mean, if you can buy 10, 12 acres of land in a village, it won't cost very much. Build a house, maybe it'll cost something. But then you don't have to worry about anything. You grow your food. You have a few cows, you can have some milk. So, unfortunately, what this modern civilization doing? Bringing people from the village to the city and make them work like an ass. And to counter that, what should we do? We'll tell, let's go back to the villages. Let's go back to the villages. And I also told him after that it may be difficult for you to go alone. Why don't you get together, 5, 6 friends together? And then 5, 6 of you can go to some village and settle down there. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You serve Krishna, you will see how Krishna will maintain you. Do you remember the story of Mrigari? The hunter? How many of you don't know the story of Mrigari? Okay, Mrigari was a hunter. He used to not only kill animals, He used to torture the animals, half killing them. And he used to derive joy by seeing that animals are suffering. Such a cruel person. So one day he met Narad Muni. So Narad Muni told him, why are you killing the animals? So he said that this is my occupation. I have to do that. Then Narad Muni said, you see, you may think that this is your occupation, but you do not know what you are doing to yourself. And Narad Muni gave him the divine vision through which he could see that in later part, how these animals are going to come and kill him. He'll have to be born again and suffer the reactions of these actions. The animals will kill him, life after life. Then he begged Narad Muni, please tell me what is the way out of this. Narad Muni asked him to surrender to Krishna. What happens when one surrenders to Krishna? Didn't Krishna give the assurance? Aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami masuchaha. So Krishna will deliver you from all your sinful reactions. So now then Amrigari asked, but then if I do that, then what will happen? How will I maintain myself? Narad Muni said, don't worry about that. You just become a devotee. So Mrigari became a devotee. And he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. On the bank of a river, he made his hut and he was living there and he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. And all the village people became curious. Oh, Mrigari became a devotee. So they used to come to see him. And when they used to come to see him, they always would bring something with them. And Mrigari saw he had so much food that he couldn't even, not only his needs were met, but he was so much excess. So Mrigari started to offer the food to the Lord and distribute the food. So that's what happens to a person when he becomes a devotee. He doesn't have to worry about his maintenance. Krishna will take care. So that is the intelligent thing to do. So apavarga, when one takes to devotional service, then this apavarga becomes nullified. No more pavarga. No more hard work. No more foaming in the mouth. No more useless waste of endeavor. No more fear. And no more death. Apavarga vatmani. Instead, what happens? Shraddha ratir bhaktir anukrameshyati. Gradually, one develops Shraddha, faith, rati, attachment to the Lord, bhakti, love to the Lord, for the Lord. So this is the real process of enlightenment that Kapil Dev gave to his mother Devahuti. And through these instructions of Kapil Dev, which has been recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam, we are benefiting. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? Yes.
Just like the philosophy of Sankhya philosophy and other philosophy, Prakriti and Purush, please explain that.
Prakriti is material nature and Purush is the living entity and the ultimate Purush, the Param Purush is Krishna. The living entities are in the material nature, they are enjoying the material nature. But the supreme Purusha, supreme enjoyer is Krishna. Okay, so thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.